Hey y'all, it's Renee Daniel Flagler. I'm coming on here really quick because I just want to offload something. Um, Something that is real, I'm going to be real transparent for a moment. I'm about to go online to do an interview for News 12 to do something. Um, and this is actually going to be my first time going on I've been on television before for like interviews and different things like this, but this is going to be the first time I'm doing this with a head full of gray hair. And it makes me, it's just made me think about this journey that we go through. Like we, as women, as people in general, like we're constantly, no matter how confident we are, we're constantly reminded in ways, or we kind of forget who we are in certain ways, and we start thinking about these standards that the world have set, and lining ourselves up against these standards, and fitting the standard or not fitting the standard, or all kinds of stuff like that. And it made me think back to when I was younger, when I was a teenager and I was in college, and as a dark skinned Black girl, how I wasn't really valued, or how I wasn't really accepted. I remember, my friends and I would go out, and the majority of my friends, except for one or two others, they were all lighter than me. And we would go out and hang out, or we would go to clubs, or we would, parties or events, and things like that. And I remember, I really, really specifically remember days where one of my other friends and I, people and guys would come up and they would talk to the girls and everything, and, try to get their numbers and all of that good stuff, but they wouldn't talk to us because we were dark skinned. I remember times throughout my life where I was told, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl," and I was just like, "What the is that supposed to mean?" So, because I'm dark skinned, the fact that I'm not ugly is an anomaly or something like that. Like I'm really not. I wasn't sure how to take those compliments. And quite frankly, I've heard that a time or two, even recently, in like the past couple of years. So I had to learn to love myself. I had to learn to look in the mirror and be okay with what I saw, and then and practice loving what I saw regardless of how it measured up to anybody's standard. I had to learn to love my hair. I had to learn to love my complexion, even though I wasn't light skinned, even though my hair wasn't like slick and super long and hanging down my back and everything. And I did that. I was successful in doing that. And it was with the help of God, because I had to build my confidence, not just by trying to combat what the world was telling me, which was everything that I was not, but you know, the Bible helped me, because it told me that I was fearfully and wonderfully made. It told me that I was a masterpiece, that I was God's handiwork, that I was His craftsmanship, and that no matter what, if the world didn't love me, that God was going to love me. So that, and just kind of like get my own stuff together, helped me to build the confidence. But I know I'm not alone when I say that every now and then we have to be reminded. And every now and then that remnant of ill confidence, or lack of confidence and insecurity, creeps up. And it creeps up in different ways. It creeps up at work. You start feeling if are you measuring up to the task. If it creeps up when you, and a lot of people recognize it as like the imposter syndrome. Shout out to Joyce Roche. Hi. She's the author of The Empress Has No Clothes. And it's a book about the imposter syndrome. And I'm mentioning her because, as I have in my read, Joyce is a former CEO of Girls Inc. National. So that's something else for Girls Inc. to be really proud of. But I digress. So, and I need to be quick because I got to jump on this video, jump on this Zoom to do this television show, this news show. But in any case, that stuff has creeped up several times over the years. And no matter how much you build up your confidence, every now and then, something comes knocking, and it makes you doubt yourself. It makes you question yourself. It makes you compare yourself. It makes you, try to assess whether or not you measure up to some standard that usually is not even realistic. And it happened to me again. It happened to me recently. So shout out to my hairdresser, Mo, Cut It Up Beauty. When I hit my 40s, my hair started graying. And it was hard for me. And I went the first couple of years just having, some specks of gray and then some patches of gray and things like that. And then it was just like one day, it was just like the grays in my head decided to have this huge bash and invited all their friends. And then I went from having black hair with a few specks of gray to having like gray hair with a few specks of black. And bam, those insecurities came back again. And my hairdresser would always say, "Oh my God, your gray is so beautiful," every time I went to get it colored, because I was literally in her chair like every 2 weeks trying to chase those grays away. So she would say to me like, "Oh, you should just wear this. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You should just wear it. And your gray is so great." And And I was like, no, and no, ma'am, because I'm not doing that. I don't want to look old. I'm not old. I'm not even 50 yet, and all of this other stuff. And I realized it was really just a whole another way to be insecure about myself, about my appearance, about what I looked like. I didn't like when I looked in the mirror and I saw those grays. I felt a certain way. And then COVID came, and then I couldn't even get to my hairdresser. And, I can do hair. I can braid. I can do all kinds of stuff. But I hate doing my hair. I don't enjoy doing my hair. I enjoy getting my hair done and relaxing. It's like a pampered experience for me. But in any case, I couldn't get to her, every 2 weeks and get my hair braided. And the grays just started taking over. And I went through that whole insecurity thing. Like, I'm going to look old. I mean, society tells men when they start graying that they look distinguished. But what do they tell women when we start graying? They don't tell us we look distinguished. I've heard men say it like, "Oh, look, she got all that gray. She look old." So my concern was, I'm going to look old. I'm going to look this. I'm going to look that. That again, I wasn't going to measure up. That again, I'm not meeting a standard. And then I had to like snap myself out of it and be like, "Chick, did you forget you're fearfully and wonderfully made? Did you forget that you're God's masterpiece? Did you forget that you are God's handiwork? That your craftsmanship?" And yes, I did. So I had to start the process all over again. I had to start looking in the mirror all over again and finding a way to love what I was seeing. And I just said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go all the way." And I didn't tell anybody, and I just went for it. And people were like, "Wow." People thought I dyed my hair gray, and I'm like, I wouldn't have chosen to do this. But I'm on my way back to loving what I see. And I just wanted to get on here just to say, I know I'm not the only one that's dealing with this in different kind of ways. I mean, we go through all these changes in life, and some of those insecurities that I thought I left behind when I was a young adult or a teen, like there's like a remnant, and it finds its way to the surface every now and then when different things happen, when we evolve, when we change, So whether it's your complexion, your hair, your waistline, or whatever, like, so what? It's who I am. I can only be me. And I'm not going to apologize for it. And at the end of the day, I'm still fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm still God's handiwork. I'm still his craftsmanship. And I am a masterpiece. And no matter what, I'm going to walk in that. So what's got you looking in the mirror and trying to measure up? Drop it. And be you. Be your fearfully and wonderfully made masterpiece self. Bye, y'all.